Hi. Hello. Hola. Bienvenido. Ciao, ciao. I'm horrible at languages. I've basically failed them all. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. So I changed up in my house and I decided to get a little festive. I know we're into the new year, and Happy New Year, Happy 2020. But with a new year and a new slew of holidays already passed, we've done Thanksgiving, we've done Christmas, and we've done New Year's. That means we've got a lot of new fiancés. A lot of you got engaged. A lot of new brides that have started planning their wedding. Hey, congratulations, pop the bubbly. I'm so excited for you guys. You're like, wow, that was the most romantic proposal of life, or it wasn't, but you said yes anyways, whatever. But now everybody's like, when is the date? OMG. And you're like, dude, I've been engaged for 5 minutes, like literally 5 minutes and 35 seconds. And you're asking me the date? I'm freaking out. Oh my stars, where do I start? Should I have had a date before I got engaged? I don't even know. I'm engaged, I'm so excited, but I don't even know what to do. So let's do a box breath. 2 in, hold for 2. Exhale for 2. It's all gonna be okay. That is what I'm here for. We're gonna take it down a notch. We're gonna lose the stress. We're gonna enjoy the fact that you're engaged because that's exciting. You're engaged, now what? That's kind of what we're talking about today. I went to my Instagram and I asked you guys, what do you want to know about wedding planning? Where do you start? And I've got some great questions from you guys and also added in a couple things that I think you guys should know to the newly engaged. So it might not be the holiday. Congratulations, guess what? This video is relevant for you too because I love you, you're enough, you're beautiful, you're strong, you're engaged, you're gonna get married and it's gonna be amazing. Oh wow, I also brought out the organic strawberry and rose flavored water because I just wanted to be fancy. So I should probably put this in like a champagne glass. Maybe I will at the end. Let's get this thing rolling. Okay, some of my favorite things that I got on Instagram, my bra strap's showing. Also, I put on these fancy earrings. And if you want to laugh about my outfit, I just want you to go back and watch a day in the life video. You'll get a kick out of it. First things first, this is one of the biggest questions that I got. A lot of people just like sending like a bunch of letters like, whoa, where do I start? First things first, take a minute, enjoy it, breathe. There is no pressure to set a date. If you don't want to do it rushed, like if you want to do it quick, go for it. If that's all you. If you want something that doesn't feel like bam, 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 I'm just like all in, I would do somewhere between like 10 months to 14 months. You might feel like at the year mark, you're like, what am I doing? You want to do like a little bit faster, hit that 8 month, but take a breath, sit down with your fiance, have some tea, have a glass of wine, pop some champagne, and start to like kind of talk about your wedding. What's most important to you? Do you have a time of year that you want to get married? That's really important. Do you have a venue that you've looked at, that you've been to, that you've dreamed about on Instagram? If that's important to you, call them. See what date is available. That is where you start. Because a lot of times, I'm not gonna lie, venues get booked really fast, but we'll get to that in a minute. Do you wanna hire a planner? Is there a planner that one of your friends use that you're like, I loved them, I need to use them? Call them, see if they're available. We planned for one bride and then end up planning for 3 of her bridesmaids. The planner is really important to you. Call them, they'll help you. They'll help you all the way through. Do you have a massive guest count? What's your guest count look like? Because that right there is really, really difficult. Let me just like talk about guest count for 1 second. Guest count is one of the hardest things that you will do the whole time. It involves both sides of the family. It involves you and your fiance. Whatever that looks like for you, guest list is a really, really difficult part. What that does is if you find out, okay, wow, I thought I was only going to have to invite 150 people, but turns out there is 400 from my fiance's family that I didn't even know about. That means that venue that you loved, that you thought was amazing, has a max capacity of 200. So that's a great place to start, is to talk through your guest list. Your follow-up question is going to be, well, okay, so I'm inviting 300, but how many people are going to actually show up? It's a really, really hard one for me because of personal experience. Literally, out of the people that we invited, we had 10 people say no to our wedding. 10. I cried one time during the planning process. It was when I got my RSVPs back because it exceeded our capacity on our venue that we had already booked. Panic. But guess what? Moral of the story, if you don't watch any more of the video, if you don't want to see the secret surprise, then it all works out. You're engaged, you're getting married to the love of your life. Remember that through every step of the process. Wow, I think I could talk about planning forever. I love talking about planning. Planning's hard. Like if you got engaged and you're like, oh, take the time. It's difficult, it's not easy. Second one, That's 4, but this is actually number 2. How soon do I book the venue? ASAP. I don't really even have like another way to put that. Depends on how important the actual venue is to you. Some of these like really popular ceremony reception flip venues, they can literally be booked for 2 years. One here in Fort Worth called Brick Venue, it is amazing, incredible to work with, and it's booked really like long out. Especially the new hot ones, they're gonna be booked. So if you want one of those, book it ASAP or you're gonna be engaged for like 17 years. All that to say, venue is going to be one of the most important things that you do because it's only going to be yours that day. Any vendors that you're gonna book that are only there for you. Your photographer is one of those, your DJ or your band is one of those. Those people that are only gonna be there for you on your wedding day, you wanna book first. A florist or a bakery, they're gonna do multiple weddings a weekend. Yes, they will fill up and they'll be booked and they won't do anymore, but a lot of them are gonna be able to take multiple, so you'll be great. But a venue is only gonna be there for you, so make sure you book that ASAP. But there's a caveat. Before you book the venue, make sure you know an approximate guest count. I mentioned that earlier, but like your guest count is gonna delegate a lot of things. You have a venue that you love that it's only 200 people, you better make sure that 200 people fit into that guest count. That crazy story that I was going to tell you, and I was gonna wait till the end, but I'll just tell you now. I had a wedding dress and a venue booked before I was engaged. Do you think I'm crazy now? I am crazy, but actually JP knew because JP was totally in on it, but I promise you, I had my venue booked and I had a dress ordered before I was engaged. My whole family had the flu until my parents were like, oh, you can't stay here. They were like, this new museum opened, go look at it. So we couldn't get into the museum because it was totally booked. So I was like, hey, we want to plan a wedding here maybe. It just like spiraled into this like, wait, what? We want to get married here, let's book it. So we booked it on New Year's Eve for like the next year. We booked the venue in January. I got a dress in the beginning of April and I was engaged at the end of April. Not engaged. I had a venue, I had a dress, and had a wedding planner. Yes, I hired a wedding planner. Before I had a ring. I booked that venue ASAP. Would recommend it. Doesn't really make for a great story. And when you have to borrow your friend's engagement rings or wedding rings to try on dresses because you feel stupid. I ended up telling the bridal boutique that I bought the dress from, I was like, I'm actually not engaged yet. And they were like, what? I was like, I mean, I'm getting engaged, but like, I'm not engaged yet. It was hilarious. I'm moving on. Number 3, what is a good wedding planning checklist or timeline? This is a really good question. So I have clients sometimes that come to me that are like, I just got engaged, I don't have a date, I wanna get married in fall of 2021. So as a planner, we create custom timelines for clients based on their needs, their wants, what they want. They want this like crazy thing, they want this dog painting. Well, they're gonna need to start doing that in February, right? What we do for clients is we split it up month by month. In January, you're gonna do these 10 things. In February, you're gonna do these 10 things. In March, you get the idea, right? But if you don't have the budget for a planner, that is totally a-okay. So there are tons of planning timelines on the internet. Here's a do and don't. Do use them. Don't take one and use that exact one. Literally pull 5 of them, 5 different ones, different websites, different budgets, different etc.s, whatever, and then create a custom one for you. Put the checklist on one side, your Word document on the other side, and pull things that you wanna do and put them on. A lot of times the checklist isn't gonna be perfect for you. And if you find one that's perfect for you, by golly, use it. Martha Stewart Weddings is amazing, brides.com is amazing. There's a bunch of different ones. And also working with a planner, you can get a custom one. It helps take stress off. Instead of having this like bulk, massive to-do list, you have it broken down by month so you're not so incredibly stressed. These evolve, they roll over, things get added, things get dropped. You're like, I want a dessert bar. And then 4 months down the road, you're like, forgot the dessert bar. Mark that off your checklist. Love lists. Look at all these lists. Wow. Look at all the lists. Wow. One of the questions that you guys asked me was about invitation timelines and when things should go out. Save the date should go out anywhere between 4 and 6 months before your wedding date. 6 months if you're leaning towards a lot of out-of-town guests or you just want to be like really on the ball, but 4 months is okay. I would shoot somewhere in the middle. I like the 5-month mark. If your wedding date's like on a holiday and you really want people, stay towards the 6-month mark, but don't send it out 8 months before. People are gonna be like, forget about it. Then it's gonna be even worse. Now, invitations, that's a 6 to 8 week before your wedding. That seems crazy, right? RSVPs usually come in around 3 to 4 weeks before your wedding. That's enough time for vendors, caterers to make last minute adjustments. Solid question, because a lot of brides send out that thing so early and I'm like, guys, my planner doesn't even reach that far yet. Okay. Number 4, how do I find vendors? So how do I find vendors? Number 1, if you book a venue or you book a planner, they're gonna have a preferred vendors list. This is gonna be people they've worked with, people they trust, and people they know. If you're not hiring a planner, book your venue. They're most likely gonna have this like cute little document that they give you that they're like, these are my preferred vendors, use them. Secondly, online reviews. Use them. There'll be some trolls, like you'll have some really good vendors that'll have gotten trolled, but also I feel like you're gonna get an idea of like the vibe that they put out. Using the online reviews about vendors to know like who they are, what they're about. Do they get to know you? Do they only talk to you on the wedding day? Like, what does that feel like? What do you want? I read this review where the like DJ called the client every week and I can't handle that. Like that was positive for one bride, but maybe it's not positive for you. So how do I find vendors? Preferred vendor list, online reviews. Another way to find them is word of mouth. Ask your friends that got married. Do you like that person? But maybe you're like, ooh, they might think that I'm trying to copy their wedding. If you're trying to copy their wedding, go to their photographer's website or somebody that's blogged their wedding and you'll get a vendor list. Look up the vendors that are coming up multiple times. I think that's kind of like word of mouth, if you will. Make sure everything that you're looking at's recent. You can look at old stuff and you're like, they were good in the 80s. Or talk to people, talk to mother of the brides. They always want to talk about who they used and what was great. So yeah, I think that's how you find vendors. Number 5, this is a big question that I get from you guys. You guys always want to talk about budget. And I totally get it, that's huge. Like, you can't plan a wedding without a budget. Average cost of a wedding is between, I would say, probably $15,000 and $30,000. I think averages are hard because who's reporting this, right? Realistic budget is something that works with you. If you want to lower your budget, lower your guest count. If you want to lower your budget, minimize flowers. Some budget notes, how to kind of calculate your budget. 50% of your budget is the venue and food and alcohol. I'm just gonna throw out a massive number because I just want to be like bougie about it. Your venue and food and alcohol is $100,000, then the budget for your wedding is going to be $200,000. Extravagant, but you can go the same way. So your venue and food and beverage is $5,000. Your total budget's going to be $10,000. Got it? Okay. One question that I got was like, where can I find a wedding dress that doesn't cost $1 zillion? Agreed. All the dresses that you're going to see in magazines are so expensive. So ASOS Bridal is amazing. You know who else has great options is David's Bridal. Don't judge it, don't knock it, just do it. Revolve kind of has some dresses that could probably like gauge as a wedding dress. Slinky white dresses are really in right now. I'm gonna go that route. See what you can find that doesn't have a bridal price tag on it, that's just a white dress. I think that's a great option too. OMG, I realized the whole time that my sleeve buttons are undone. I'm home alone, and how are you supposed to do these buttons with these inappropriate mom nails? I think that's it. Remember, moral of the story, take a breath, take some time to just be engaged and not stress. Don't be like, it's been 3 days and I don't have a date. Oh, no. You need to grab a champagne glass. Yep, I went and did it. You can have water. I'm drinking water because this is my life. And I want you to cheers me because congratulations, you are getting married. Yay! So exciting. So if I didn't get to one of your questions, I want you to drop it in the comment below. I'm gonna be answering those. And again, I have my Christmas tree up, it's holiday life. But if you got engaged this summer, this is still super relevant to you. Subscribe. There's an awesome video that Jocelyn and I talked through all about her wedding planning and what that was like. So we answered some other questions there. Find me on Instagram, shoot me a DM, Brianna Noland. And let's get you not stressed about planning your wedding. Cheers.